Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. On today's math lesson, we're going to practice the Pythagorean theorem a little bit more. I'm that you've already watched the video from Thursday and practiced the Pythagorean theorem where we learned the basics of it. If you haven't done that yet, definitely make sure you do that. So last Thursday, it would have been April 16th, we had a video on the Pythagorean theorem and we answered these questions in IXL. This is F16. Okay, so we're building on that now. We're doing a little bit more with it. Again, make sure when you do IXL that you're logged in up here. If you're not logged in, it won't save your work. Also, another note about Zoom meetings. I know some people are still asking about that. I'm not planning on doing whole class Zoom meetings because we're doing these screencast lessons. These seem to work better for people than doing Zoom meetings. This is a little bit more efficient. Then you can go in and work on it when you have a chance. You don't have to be in the Zoom meeting at the exact time as everybody else in the class. If you want, I can definitely set up individual Zoom meetings. It works really well. Always just email me and let me know. We'll set something up if you need help getting started on something or you have questions on your math. Okay, so you've already done skill F16 and gotten to 50 points. Today we're doing F17 and F18. So we'll do a few, I'll show you a few examples of each of those. Show you a few examples of each of those so that you know what you're doing and you can do these. So F17 is word problems on the Pythagorean theorem. So for each of these, you're probably going to want to draw a picture, or if you can picture it in your head, some of you maybe can picture it in your head. But okay, this first one, to wash a window that is 16 feet off the ground, Blanca leans a 20-foot ladder against the building. To reach the window, how far away from the building should Bianca place the base of the ladder? Okay, so basically, if we kind of draw a picture, here's your house. You put a ladder up against the house. Really bad picture of a ladder there for you, but this ladder is 20 feet long, and we want to know how far away from the house should our ladder be so that this is 16 feet. So we're assuming that this is a right angle, a right triangle for all these. Remember, the Pythagorean theorem only works with right triangles. In this example, we know the hypotenuse, we know one of the legs, we need to find out the other leg. So we're going to be using subtraction on this when we solve it. But to set it up, instead of drawing the picture that I showed you guys a little bit on Thursday, let's just set it up with if this is A, this is B, and we want to know the value, we know the value of C, we want to know the value of B. So we can set it up using the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. If these are the two legs, A and B are the legs of a right triangle, and C is the hypotenuse. So we have 16 squared plus B squared equals 20 squared. And then we're basically just solving this for B. So we're going to simplify both of these. 16 to the second power. Oh, is that 216? I think it is. Let me just double check here. I got to grab a calculator. I don't want to get one of these wrong again. Did that on a couple last week here. I want to make sure we get everything right. So 16 times itself, 16 times 16, 256. See, I was wrong there. I said 216. Okay, 256 plus b squared equals 400. Subtract 256 from both sides. Subtract 256, subtract 256. That's 144. B to the second power is 144, and we do the square root of both sides, then B equals 12. So putting 12 in here, 12 feet, submit, and boom goes the dynamite. We got it right. So all of these problems, you'll just be drawing a picture. All of the pictures in this lesson should always be right triangles. You're going to know two of the sides, and you need to find the other side. Let's take a look at one more, and then we'll move on to F17. Johnny is mountain climbing and has just climbed a 15-meter vertical rock face. Denise is standing at the bottom of the cliff looking up at Johnny. Denise is 17 meters away from Johnny. How far away from the cliff is Denise standing? Okay, so again, we got to be able to picture this here. We got Denise and Johnny. So Johnny's at the top. He has climbed a 15-meter cliff. vertical, so straight up and down. Denise is at the bottom, and Denise is 17 meters away. We want to know how far away from the cliff is Denise standing. This problem would be the exact same type of setup as example 1, just with different numbers. So we'll save some time here. I won't do this one again if you want to go back and watch example 1, see how we did it with those numbers, but this should be nothing new. There will be some where you don't know the hypotenuse. Same idea, solve for C then. Okay, let's take a look at skill F8. F18, sorry, F18. F18 will be one's problems where you're using the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So basically, they'll give you the three numbers and they're asking if these three numbers together would make a right angle, would make a right triangle. Okay, so here, a triangle has sides with a length of 12, 16, and 20. Is it a right triangle? So we have a triangle. I won't put it, we want to know if this is a 90-degree angle here. We're not sure if it's a 90-degree angle, but we do know that it's 12, 16, and 20. The 20 is the longest side. That means it has to be the hypotenuse. Whatever the larger number is to be your hypotenuse. 16 and 12. You guys probably won't even need to draw a picture for these, but I'm going to draw a picture for this one. We're testing now if a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, this works for right triangles and right triangles only. So if these three numbers work in this formula in the Pythagorean theorem, that tells us that this must be a 90-degree angle. So we're testing now. 16 squared plus, or sorry, 12 squared plus 16 squared equals 20 squared. We just have to basically say if that's true or false. This is 144 plus 256 equals 400, and that is true. So actually, instead of putting equals, we really should put a question mark there. We're questioning whether they're equal. That is true, so we should say yes for this one and submit. There we go. So this should be pretty simple for you guys. Let's try one more. I know I say that too much probably, but it's going to be simple. 4, 12, and 15. Same idea here. If you had a triangle and the side lengths were 4 and 12 and 15, is this a 90-degree angle? We're testing the Pythagorean theorem here. We're testing whether 4 squared plus 12 squared is equal to, questioning whether it's equal to 15 squared, and that's 16 plus 144 equals 225, and that's definitely not true. Okay, so this would not be a 90-degree angle. I think because these numbers are too small, I think it would have to be wider than 90, if that kind of makes sense. 4, 12, 15. We'd have to study that a little more. I think that's how it goes. Doesn't matter. We just have to say no for this one. All right, so there you go. Just need to get to SMART score of 50. Remember, when we're doing IXL, we always do a score of 50. I'm already at 19 points after solving 2 of those. So keep up the good work. Good job. Thanks for tuning in.